Hey, call me Shape, and today we're reacting to a video titled, Do Men Hate Women Deep Down? Let's get right into it.
I don't know if there's something in the water these days, but I'm getting video after video of women saying, I am done with men. I'm not dating you. I'm not hanging out with you. You do nothing for me. In fact, you don't even like me. So today we're gonna react to a few of those videos and see if they have a point. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Yes, as I said, I'm getting video after video of women saying we are done with men. And these are young women, maybe in their early 20s, saying, you know what? I don't need a man in my life. I'm happy with my female friends. I don't want kids. I don't want to settle down. I laugh at the male loneliness epidemic. So today, we're going to react to these women, see what points they're making and why they are done with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. Here's number one.
Has there been a shift in men the last few years, or are we all just like more aware? I'm in my early 20s. A lot of my friends are like gorgeous girls in their early 20s. Like, women just don't really like men anymore. Speaking from like personal experience, like I haven't dated in like 2 years. No man interests me. Every girl I talk to feels the same way. Like if I meet a girl and she's single, she's like, yeah, I don't really date because like I don't really care. I know that we say that like women hate men, but like men genuinely hate women, and like it's not a joke. Women that they hate the most are the ones that they're supposed to love. So like, ew. But I feel like you see way more now, like girls in their 20s, later 20s that like have never had a boyfriend. Like, is it just me? Because that's how I feel.
I mean, I do see this as a young woman who's living in Los Angeles currently. I am seeing a lot of women who say like, I'm on a celibacy journey, or I'm not going to be with a man. They're not doing anything for me. I need to get to know myself a little more, you know, this, that, and the third. I'm also hearing a lot of women say that men just absolutely hate them. They do not like them. And I don't know where that information is coming from. There seems to be a sort of collective consciousness waking up amongst young women where they're getting this idea that men don't like them, don't appreciate them, and aren't doing anything for them. And I have to feel that maybe it's the societal structures that we have set in place right now that are evening the playing field between men and women, at least when it comes to socioeconomic status and education, that may be leading to this. You know, women are on track to out-earn men. They are out-educated in comparison to men. And I feel like women are making these subtle calculations in their mind right now that they're making their own money, they're educated, they're doing everything they need to do for their own lives. They feel like they're safe within that space, and letting a man enter that space is not necessarily doing anything for them. I've also heard a lot of women say, not only am I bringing all of this to the table in terms of finances and education, but the man is expecting me to take on female gender roles in a relationship where I'm already bringing this much to the table. And maybe there's an incongruence in the way that women are thinking about this and the way that men are thinking about this. Men, you'll have to let me know. Is her degree...
I'm going to let you know, okay? I'm going to let you know because I've been wanting to speak, but I've been letting you women speak, okay? We don't hate you guys. We don't, okay? We're just a little annoyed, and we want you to shut up sometimes. Just sometimes. Just shut up sometimes, okay? A lot of women are argumentative. They fight with you. They want to do this. They want to do this all day, bumping gums. And I think it's funny. The girl said, "Oh, we bring all this to the table. They want us to do feminine roles, but we also bring money and our college degrees to the table." And we're like, "That's nothing. We don't want that. I never said I want that. I'm bringing a BBL to the table. I never said I want that. Look at my hair. This is $500 weave. I never said I wanted that. You guys went to the grocery store and got the wrong list. That ain't our list. That's what women do to compete with each other. So no, we don't hate you guys. We just think you don't understand us. I think it's quite simple. And if you want to understand men, you got to listen to men. It's very simple. But you want us to listen to you. And we heard you already. And we ain't got nothing to say.
Is her money or her bringing something to the table? Do you expect more on top of that? Do you hate women? And are you leading with that energy around them? I don't have this in my experience, at least with the man that I'm with, so I feel bad if this is the energy that they're truly receiving from men, but I have a feeling something else is afoot. Okay, we're gonna watch another video here and see what this girl has to say.
Andrea Dorkin once said that it is an agony for women to be fully conscious of the brutal misogyny that permeates every part of culture and personal relationships. And honestly, for me, the day that I realized I was a feminist and I just saw the patriarchy for what it was, I have never been able to unsee that, and it affects every single thing I do. Once you form this awareness as a woman of the way that men hate women. It is so difficult to exist in a way that isn't in rebellion of that, to exist in a way that isn't making a point all the time. And she was so right in saying that women are socialized to not realize these things, because the minute you realize it, it's damaging, it's debilitating, it's so all-consuming and so depressing and sad, and it just sucks when you realize how historically women have been oppressed and disrespected and abused and hurt and used, and they continue to be. Then obviously you as a woman want to live your life and enjoy your life, so you have to figure out where you stand on these things, and also just has to go in the world and interact with men. I have to find a way to like reconcile these feelings and exist. But it's so hard when you have this realization about the world. She says something else where she says that women under patriarchy are a victim, and all daughters, past, present, and future, are a victim. We have such a huge responsibility as women, and men have the same responsibility.
She just said it right there. You guys are victims. I was going to say it, but she said it. Yeah, it's exactly that, the victim mindset. My ancestor was an oppressed woman, therefore the patriarchy, it just shifts everything in my life, and I have to bring to awareness, and now that I'm aware of it, now that you're aware of it, now that you were given the script, you know what to say. Now that you're aware of the script, you know how to behave. That's the issue. But if you had to be left to your own devices, you'd be realizing that you're talking on an iPhone, which is probably made by a man, in a car made by a man. You say the patriarchy, but the patriarchy is the reason why the world is so comfortable right now. Because men built the world for women to enjoy and lay in comfort. And y'all still complain. And this is what I'm trying to say. As men, we're just annoyed with women. We're annoyed. You guys complain. You're not happy. You hate everyone. You actually dislike most men. Right? You don't find most men attractive. We're men, we find most women attractive. So who hates who really more? You know, I find average girls attractive. I've been with hot girls, 8, 9s, and 10s, but I still find the 6s and the 5s attractive. You know, y'all mad at y'all average. I'm not mad at y'all average. I'll see an average girl. You know, average girl, little booty. You know, little booties matter. You feel me? I still rock with you. But I think y'all hate yourselves, to keep it real with you. How can you be oppressed crying in a faux fur? How you oppressed crying in a faux fur, y'all? Come on.
God knows that they don't want to do anything about it. But we as women have a massive responsibility to create a world that is a little bit better every time, because we're bringing daughters into the world, and I can't wait to have a little girl. But it's something I think about so often. I'm so scared to bring in a daughter and watch her realize the things that I had to realize about the world. Just cuts you so deep. I could actually start crying if I think about it. It's really awful. We're in a time where femicide is on the rise, and the deaths of women and murder of women is a literal national crisis. And I don't know, I just think about it a lot. I literally, every single day and everything that I do, I feel it. When I go to bed at night, I feel it. I feel the weight of all the women who came before me and the women who come after me, and it kills me.
So much to talk about there, and I'll actually say I can relate to some of what she said, not because I agree with the statement that she's making, but because I went through a similar time in my life when I was a leftist. I felt as though I came to this realization that I remained on a certain victim status because I was biracial in America, because I was a woman in America, and when you feel the weight of this supposed realization, it is something, like she says, that you cannot stop making a point about. Every t-shirt had an activist statement on it. Every person that gave me a cross look or said something that I deemed to be a microaggression or racist was getting a lecture and in full force. And I had to make a point at every single turn, because you feel like this veil has been lifted and that you're seeing things that other people don't see. And in her case, she feels that way in regard to patriarchy, I guess. And I gotta say, this has not been my experience with men. Of course, there are men out there that you can see harbor a disdain or maybe resentment towards women and the lives that we get to live by virtue of being born female in this world, and they carry that with them. But with my discernment, it seems I've been able to find men that don't move through the world with those feelings. I'm hearing a lot of the things she's saying, and I'm thinking, you know, my man would never, and I hate to be that person, but I feel as though it is a matter of perspective. And it's not because I don't see some of the things that she's referencing and talking about. Of course, these things exist, but I don't feel as though they're an all-encompassing oppressive force that exists all times to hold down women. She even goes as far as to say it will be for generations to come. She is sort of giving a prophecy as to how the future is going to play out and as to how oppressed her daughter and her daughter's daughters are going to be. And I gotta say, you don't know what the future looks like. And if we look at the world right now...
No, we know what it looks like. I'm stumbling on my words. I was running to respond to this. We know exactly what it looks like. More feminism, less families, more people over the age of 40 with no kids, never been married. Yeah, it looks bad. But it's not bad because of the patriarchy, right? It's bad because of matriarchy, right? Feminism is the matriarchy that's leading you women into disaster, right? It's leading you women off a cliff. We're trying to stop you from falling off the cliff, but you can't see you can't see that there's a cliff right there because you've been blinded by the veil of feminism. Anyway, look, I think it's very interesting. That even though she disagrees with her, she still agrees with her. Oh yeah, there's something, there's some men that really hate women. And there's some people that just hate everybody. They just hate themselves. There's some miserable, evil people, men and women, right? And some of the most craziest people are men, right? As far as violently crazy. And some of the most craziest people as far as like socially crazy people are women, right? So those are the extremes. But we're talking about a problem that's a problem of the norm. The average guy can't get with an average girl in America right now. The average girl thinks she's too good for him. That's one. Two, she's pursuing something that we don't find attractive, such as becoming more professional, masculine, boss babe, earning a bunch of money, buying a house. You create a life for yourself we have no interest in. I really don't have an interest in dating a woman that has like 3, 4, 5 houses. I mean, I guess it's nice. It doesn't really add or take away. If you are not polite, feminine, and friendly, none of that's going to matter. You know what I'm saying? I think it's cool, yeah. It's the goosh. It's definitely the goosh, right? The cherry on top. But it's definitely not the cake. Nah, the cake in being a woman, is being agreeable, being easy like a Sunday morning. They should make music about this. Easy, okay? This new difficult, hard to talk to, hard to get along with women, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. Absolutely is, because we're at the point now where we have more forms of communication, but we're talking less, right? We have more access to resources, but we're less resourceful. Okay? We're arguing about things that we could do a quick Google search and disprove easily. But no one wants to do that work because the excitement and the involvement is in being pugnacious, right? Being violent, being aggressive, being malice, right? Like, a good relationship is a boring relationship. And women hate boring so much, they rather cause chaos than be bored in this privileged life that we live here in the West, in America, in Canada, in UK, in Australia, this privileged life of the West. We have luxury thoughts, and we want to share them online, and makes people like me wealthy because I get to respond to them and let you guys know that you all crazy. You all crazy.
For women. And as it has in history, we're doing pretty good. And that's not to say we don't have issues or things we need to tackle, and maybe ideas that are rooted in patriarchy that are still holding women down here and across the world. It's just to say that if you cannot see the flowers in the field, I don't know that we're going to be doing all that better in the future. And if your main thought in having a daughter is awakening her to her oppression and her victimhood, I don't know, maybe hold off a little bit and wait a little more and marinate on these ideas just a bit more before we go running around saying that that's going to be her reality. And more so than that, saying that all men hate women. Because I gotta say, I don't believe that to be true. But I do want men to sound off in the comments, because even if you're lying and you truly hate women, I think I'll be able to get notes of that in your comments down below. Let me know your true feelings. And, if you somehow can't figure out your true feelings, we have a test for you. This next TikTok is going to be revealing as to how men truly feel about women, and here's how we do it.
Ladies, if you're in a relationship with a man or dating a man and you want to know what he really thinks of you, I want you to go ahead and ask two very important questions from him. It needs to be on a random day without a context, and he needs to respond immediately off the top of his head. He cannot have time to think about it. And that is, why do you like or love me? And if you were to describe me to a stranger right now, how would you describe me, or who would you describe me as? Watch them lose their shit, because none of them have standards. That's a good one. That's a tough one, because they have never thought about it. It's not that serious. It's not that serious for them. They don't care who you are, because you're not a person. They just chose you because you were available, accessible, you were agreeable. Yeah, and for that 10% who actually thought about why they chose you, and they were calculative about their decision, which makes them more dangerous. You'd think that it's a good thing, but it's not. They would describe you most probably as a person who does things for them. I love you or like you because you do this for me. I love you or like you because you make me feel this and that way. Me. If they do not have anything to say about you, your personality, your character, the kind of person that you are, the way you carry yourself in society, the way you take care of yourself, the way you communicate, this tells you everything. And the most dangerous answer they could ever give you, which is my favorite because I have been told all my life, is that you look young and pretty.
I don't doubt that all of these women are dealing with experiences like this with men. And in a sea of 100 people, as you're trying to find your person or somebody that you feel bonded to and compatible with, you are going to run into 99 people who don't hit the mark for you and who you feel like value you for things that you don't want to be valued for. And that's totally normal. In fact, I'll plug you into a reality. Women do the same thing to men in a lot of different ways. And where we see this content from women, I see a lot of content from men that women are just analyzing how much value they bring to the table as far as finances. They are analyzing them for, you know, how powerful they are, or how much status they are, or how much they feel safe in their presence, with statements like, you make me feel, which is what she didn't want to hear from a man when asking about her value or what she is loved for. Now, this is totally valid. It is totally valid that you want to find a man who values you for who you are, for your being, for your morals, your values, how you show up in the world, your thoughts, your intellect, what you bring to life in his presence. And there are men who are also searching for that in women. That is not to say that there aren't men who just love a young and pretty thing to keep on their arm and to say that they've been with and to say that they have. It is to say that we push those men aside. Now, I think
You see, the problem is the men that you want are those men that you just pushed aside. That's the problem. Right there. You see, I think it's interesting. Even though she's a woman and she understands like the conservative values, she's still not a man, so she doesn't think exactly like us. This girl, Amala, shout out to her. Good content so far though, but she doesn't think like us. I'm saying that because she right there created a narrative where the man she wants won't be like this. And my question to you is, how do you know? Y'all say y'all want to know why we like you, right? Oh, I'm so thoughtful. I read three French books, and I've had crumpets in Paris, and I wear Versace, and I rode elephants in Thailand, and I went to boarding school, and I'm an equestrian, and it's like, listen, look, I understand that you want a relationship with a man similar to your parents, such as your mother. This is what I'm trying to say. This is a matriarchy problem. Let's break it down, right? Your mom loved you unconditionally. You didn't have to do anything for your mom. That's the way your mother loved you. But when it comes to men, we're not your mother. So I can't love you the way your mama loves you. No. I love what you provide for me. It's a service. At the end of the day, we're making relationships far more than what they really are. Marriages are duties and services. If you're someone's wife, he is your responsibility. You need to seek after and take care of your husband. That's a wife's duty. That's the woman responsible for that. Now I know why women hold out, because they don't feel like they're responsible to give it up. And I'm not saying you have to, but don't date someone in a mutually exclusive relationship, a monogamous relationship, and expect them not to get laid. So again, we're not your mama. I'm not going to love you unconditionally because your favorite color is green or turquoise. I'm not going to admire you for that. I could admire you from a distance. You know what I'm saying? You want to be worshipped by men. Men, we don't want to worship women. I think women need to really understand. We don't want to worship you. I think you're great. You could be, self-righteous in your mind. You have all these great ideas. But the way you're describing the relationship to men is the way your relationship to your mama. Your mama, you don't got to do nothing for your mother. But if you do nothing for us, you're out of here. You're useless. Not just us, your jobs. How come you don't ask your job to treat you like your mama treats you? You should got to provide a service for you. So you understand this in the employment place. You don't realize the dating market is another market where resources and value gets traded and exchanged. It's an economy. That's why there's breakups and commitments. They're deals. They're essentially just deals. Social deals of sorts. Anyway, this is a great video. I enjoyed it. I think Amala has some cool words, but I do see that she's still a woman at the end of the day, and respectfully, and I think she's very feminine, and I think she's just going to have the view of life through the female lens because she had to live life as a woman this entire time. Where some like me, I had to live life as a man, so I look at life very differently than women, and there's things I don't see, and this is why we kind of need each other. So shout out to her. She's not masculine at all, so she could still be desirable as a wife, as a girlfriend, or whatever she is. You know what I'm saying? Just from, her presentation. I think it was a great presentation. Shout out to you, biracial girl with some conservative ideas. A+. But as far as all the other girls, I mean, look, there is a group think going on here that subtly women are not aware of, that I'm aware of, right? And it's, 1, you've been oppressed, 2, people holding you down, and 4, you don't even realize that this is all dogma. You've been taught this. It's not something you look at the window and say, man, men are just oppressing women, right? When you are at your most vulnerablest, we help you. Men as a community of men. We see a pregnant woman, she needs the door open. 99% of the time in America, someone's going to hold the door open. If she needs a seat on a bus, someone's going to give her a seat. If she needs help, someone's going to go to her aid. A random woman could be being attacked in public, and some random man is going to aid her. 99% of the time. You mistreat women in public and see if people are not running to her defense. So there's an illusion of being a victim. It's not real. It's an illusion. You were taught this, but you don't actually feel like a victim. There are people that are really victimized in the world. It's not you for just being a woman. Not just for being a woman. You might be an awful woman. You might be a boring woman. You might be a woman who just insufferable and horrible to be around, right? And there is pretty privilege. There are women who experience life better than other women, but for the most part, if you're a female, you have an intrinsic value, and that is you have a womb and you can birth human babies with a male. And so we're always going to value you that way. We're not going to look at you outside of that because that is your primary source of value. And this is why when women get older and they age out of the dating market, the reason why they're aging out is because they can no longer provide what the dating market really needs. And that is prime, ripe wombs that could perform, and deliver children. Hey, I didn't make it this way. We all have our own roles in life. Whoever created us this specific way. If he wanted us to be completely equal, both of us would be able to carry babies and essentially be asexual, and we wouldn't have 2 races of humans, we'd have 1. It wouldn't be male and female, just be it. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some other videos, and I'll see you over there.